In this video, we will review how to acquire targets when scanning with the BLK360. Since the scanner has no onboard target acquisition routine, like the Leica ScanStation instruments, target fitting needs to happen in the processing software. We will take a look on how to do this in both Cyclone and Register 360. From the image, you can see there are a few targets that have been placed into the scene. The scene was scanned from two different positions. Now that we have finished our scans, we need to bring it back into the office and connect our laptop to the scanner. First, we need to connect the Wi-Fi connection, then we can start Cyclone. With Cyclone open now, we can browse to the database where we want the BLK360 data to be brought into. We'll say import, we'll connect, and we'll select the scans that we want to import. It's the first and third in this case, because the battery ran out in the second scan, and it's only a partial. Now that the scans have been imported into Cyclone, we can go into our database and you can see our two scans have been brought in. The easiest way to acquire the targets is to go into a TrueSpace. We can simply right-click on the first one and say Open TrueSpace. We can then browse and see our targets. There's one here, there's one here, there's one here. There's actually a fourth one here. Now what we can do is acquire them. So with a single pick, we can pick a point on target, create target, say find black and white target, and we can name it. We'll call it T1. Now we can go into our other targets. We can do the same thing. Now that we've got our targets in our first scan, we need to do again in the second scan. Right click, open TrueSpace, and do the same thing. Now all of our targets have been acquired in both setups. Now we're ready to do a registration. To do our registration, we'll close our TrueSpace, we'll click on our project, we'll create a registration, open it, we will bring in our two scans, and then we will say to constraint, we'll say auto add constraints. Here's our four targets. We'll say register, and now the two scans are physically registered together. We can also add a cloud-to-cloud constraint should we choose. So we can choose the two, cloud constraint, add one, use the current registration, which means it will use the targets as its initial guess, add this in, and the program will go ahead and calculate now a cloud-to-cloud fit as well. Now we can freeze our registration and open our model space. And from here, we have now our two positions that have been registered together using targets. Now that we're done with Cyclone, we'll go do the same thing in Register 360. My computer's already connected to the scanner. Same process as it would if it was Cyclone. I'll create a new project, and I'll call it Using Targets. So now we'll go ahead and connect to the scanner, and we'll choose our two scans that we want to import. Add the import, then click the big red button to start the import. Now that it is done importing, it also says we have created one link. We'll hit OK. Let's take a look. You can see that we have a green link between our two setups. It has automatically found the fit between the two scans automatically. Click on one and you can see the green targets are the ones that are being used. There's one red one that it chose not to use. So we can go into look at our error. We have all green indications. We have a good fit. We can optimize. And that is bringing targets into Register 360.